Traders, welcome in. This is the second installment of the watch list for next week. If you haven't already, go watch my previous video. There are some really good setups there. And before we get into today's setups, I just want to let you guys know that the Discord is 100% free. We are building the most incredible swing trading community. Also, guys, like and subscribe. It goes a long way. I appreciate it. Okay, so let's get into it. Lemonade. This is a setup that is really compelling here. It's been sliding since December of 24, still sliding, but it's getting into a wedge, right? Because it's bottoming here. We could see clearly it's bottoming. It's not really pushing below 3180 at all. In fact, pretty much every time it hits that level, it's bottoming out there. It's creating lower highs though. That's exactly what we want. That's a wedge. It could pop right out of that, especially with some strong volume. Volume has also been in decline, which for a stock that's tightening up, for a stock that's consolidating and wedging, that's fine. That's what we're looking for ideally. And we're looking for a breakout with some strong volume. That's what we're looking for. And as I mentioned in the last video, as I've been mentioning recently, right now the focus is on shorter term moves. Typically, in a good market, when we're in a swing, we're looking to take advantage of larger moves where, as long as the stock is above its moving averages and has strong momentum, we want to ride that wave as long as possible. However, right now, my focus is in the shorter term, 2, 3 days, maybe even one day if we have a really good burst, trading options potentially, if that's something that you want to do, as we can capture a nice win off of a much smaller move. We're looking to take advantage of smaller moves because S&P 500 is not trending, obviously. It's in a correction, it's weak. Now, I think this is a pivotal moment where we have some stocks that are looking to get a little bit of a recovery pop. And I'm looking to take advantage of a recovery rather than a shift in momentum. So most of these names are recovery trades. But anyway, so Lemonade, it's really good. It's tight, as you guys can see. It continuously tightens up here, and it has bottomed out at about that 32 level, we can call it, basically. Somewhere in that vicinity, it's bottomed out, and we have a little bit of a wedge. So we're looking for a pop out of that wedge with some strong volume. That is a good setup. Doximity. Whoops. Okay, so this is the next setup I've been watching. Now, this isn't an amazing setup by any means, but it does have some potential. Why? This is a name that had really good earnings, right? So they made a nice move off of earnings. Stock gapped up from $60 a share to a high of 85. And I was looking at it originally in here, maybe a flag after the earnings, and then we have a continuation higher, more momentum. It did not happen. It's been sliding. However, look, there's a potential. There's potential that it can pop out of this. Maybe set up a little bit of a launch pad. So pop out of this downtrend, maybe flag up, and then we look to take a trade on the break of this flag. That's what I would be looking for here. This isn't something I'm going to review extensively. Pretty straightforward. It's not something that I'm super excited about, but I thought I would add it onto the watch list as it does, offer some potential into next week. So next setup is CRK. This is Comstock Resources. So I've been watching this for about a week now. And basically, similar situation where I'm just looking for a pop out of this little downtrend, and we would ideally want some strong volume. I would, if the volume is good, above average, I would consider taking it options, and I would be looking for a retest of these highs. That's what I would be looking for. These options are probably not going to. The IV is probably a lot lower on something like this, so it does not need a big move in the underlying to have a large options move. Just take that into account. That's one of the reasons why I would consider trading something like this. But anyway, this is kind of wedging up here. I want to see what it does. It has a compelling setup given its momentum from August of 2024. It's had really strong momentum, moving from $9 a share to a high in January of 21 per share. So that's consistent movement. It was above its moving averages, especially in the weekly, as you can see. And it looks like this is a pivotal area here that if it can get a pop out of this little downtrend, it can retest those highs. MLGO. So I did actually buy this on Friday and I sold basically for break even. It just wasn't really moving enough for me because when you buy a breakout on a stock like this with an ADR of 38, you need it to fly from day one, right? If it's just sitting there after you get into the trade and it's not doing anything, then likely it's not time to enter. And I was correct, right? So I'm not going to wait for a stop loss to hit or anything like that. I'm just going to wait for. Sorry, I'm not going to wait. I'm just going to cut out of the position. I'll wait for the next opportunity. But yeah. Okay, so MLGO, it's pretty obvious here why I like it. Lower highs, higher lows. It's very tight. If it does experience a breakout on some strong volume, the key is strong volume. TradingView ads. If we get some strong volume and it breaks out over this trend line, that's basically going to trigger an entry for me, and we'll go from there. It didn't do it on Friday, or it did break above, but it faded. The volume wasn't strong enough. I sensed that early. I cut it out at break even, and here we are again. Again, 38 ADR, this thing could go insane. So on a trade like this, I'm only looking for a couple days, 2 nice solid days. That's all you need on a trade like this because you can have very tight risk, right? So very tight risk, your reward, your upside is pretty large, even in a very small time interval, given its 38 ADR, implying that the stock on average or rolling average stocks moving from top to bottom of the candle 38%. That is big stuff. Okay, so this is the last one for this video, CELH. And CELH, pretty standard formation. You know, we're watching a variety of names like this at the moment. As you can see, it popped out of its downtrend, and now it's kind of setting up a little bit of a launch pad, right? Typically, a launch pad, the way I define it, is going to have a solid line of support or demand. This is still kind of trending lower, but a pop out of this little structure here, I think, will bring much higher levels. And CLH for options is pretty good. There's good liquidity on the option chain, and they move well. So, guys, that concludes today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Check the link in the description for my X, for the Discord. It's 100% free, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.